chaviva le'Eretz Yisrael. He has such a chaviva to Eretz Yisrael that he made up his own nusach. So the Meshech Chochma, Rabbi Yehuda Ksubas Kuf Yud, holds that there's no mitzvah of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. He says, "Ha'olam habavel Eretz Yisrael over ba'asei, Shema bavel tavayu yiyu shama." Rabbi Yehuda held his Talmud Reb Zeir wanted to go to Eretz Yisrael. He didn't tell his Rebbe he's going. Gemara says he hid from him. And he left. He didn't do like his Rebbe. Zakta Meshech Chochma. You see that Shivas Eretz Yisrael is an inyan be'etzem. So Rabbi Yehuda himself held not to go, and in Kol Zeh he was Chaviv Eretz Yisrael. The idea of Chivas Eretz Yisrael has nothing to do with the state of Israel. Not only with the state of Israel. We are the generation after the heavy politics about the state of Israel. We know Satmar, I'm not talking about the Torah character, Chas v'Shalom, I'm talking about them, but even the Satmar who are against the Medina. That Shita was a mainstream Shita in Klal Yisrael before the state was created. It's not relevant today. Not Negeya. What has happened, and we are where we are. But Laman Ashkofa, the Ashkofa of the Inyan, I'd like to read to you from Rav Schwab. Rav Schwab actually has a piece in Mayim Beis HaShe'eva about Hamadina Shekayrin Oisam B'Shem Yisrael Yikra, he writes about it. I'm going to read to you in English, but I'd like to explain it, what his son writes, and he has a short biography on him in the introduction to Rav Schwab on Chumash, the English one. He writes, the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 with the support of Agudas Yisrael presented a great challenge to the Rav's strongly held views. Those are Schwab's views of Oistrit. Oistrit is, I'll tell you about it once, but Oistrit was Rav Shamshel Farah Hirsch's Shita to separate from the Reform and Conservative, not to work with them, but to create your own community. The Torah community must maintain a total separation from an organized movement such as Reform or Zionism, which deny the eternal truths of the Torah. Rashab always appreciated the haven that the new state provided. He's concerned from the very beginning the state of Israel was founded by secularists, etc. So he writes the following. Sometimes later he had the opportunity to visit Eretz Yisrael. He went to see the Chazon Ish. He asked him, what hatred did Agudas Yisrael have for joining the government? Chazon Ish answered simply, I don't know. They did not ask me. While the Chazon Ish shared his concern, he cautioned Rav Schwab, because there's such a frenzy over the newly found state, when you return to America, keep your thoughts to yourself, he told him. Now, I'm reading it not because I'm pushing any agenda on it. It's complicated. The idea of the establishment of a state, the secular state, it's a complicated issue. But it has nothing to do with Chivas Eretz Yisrael. It has nothing to do with the issues that Rosh Schwab and Agudas Yisrael here are referring to. They're for a different time. It's not my conversation. The Maisa, Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us Eretz Yisrael. He gave us Eretz Yisrael a few years after the Holocaust. He gave us Eretz Yisrael when it was the Hamodia was an Israeli paper by Ger. The state of Israel was proclaimed on a Friday. The next paper came in on Sunday. The headline was Shechiyanu v'kimanu v'giyanu l'zman hazeh. That was the headline. Certainly, Lamaisa, it provided for Klal Yisrael tremendous opportunities. The Nakuda is that a person has to stay away from anything to do with politics in Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael, Chaim Kanevsky writes that Tchilosei Lashon Hara, when the Raglim went, Haitziu Divas Haaretz, and it's already mushrish in Eretz Yisrael, the Eitz Hara to say Lashon Hara. That's what he writes in Parsha Shlach in Derosich. He says that it's mushrish. to stay away. Mitzvah B'Liyah is a letter to someone moving to Eretz Yisrael. I think he calls himself Salanter. So he said that, want to go to Eretz Yisrael? He said, B'Tanai Echad, that you're Zoyer from the Lashon Hara of the different groups in Eretz Yisrael. Because Eretz Yisrael is a Makom Sakana for Lashon Hara. Putting all that aside, the concept of Chibas Eretz Yisrael is something that a person doesn't have it, is missing a picture of Klal Yisrael. You're missing something in your appreciation of Klal Yisrael. And the Chassam Sofer was a tremendous Oyev Eretz Yisrael. If you collect from his writings, extraordinary. He's the Baal Memra that Tzedakah Yerushalayim or Eretz Yisrael is the same thing as Aniyei Yerachon. It doesn't say Shulchan Aruch. The first place it's found is a Chuvah Chassam Sofer. He writes. You know what he writes? He writes in Rus, the book of Nach, Rus and Esther that everybody knows, right? So in Rus goes to the field, and Bayaz is working in the field. You know who Bayaz was? Bayaz Gadol Darhaya. You know how old he was? He was 80 years old. Do you know any 80-year-old that owns a farm, that's a big masman and learns a lot, that goes to work there and sleep in a tent at night? What is he doing? So Sefer says, what are you talking about? He was being Isaac in mitzvahs, Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. He was Isaac in mitzvah. And this the Lashon that some Sefer writes. Is there a Havamina that if you have a mitzvah of tefillin, you'll give it to a shliach to put on tefillin? No such Havamina. He says, so working in the land in Eretz Yisrael, you give it to someone else? That's how some Sefer writes. It's a shtackle Lashon. It's an incredible Lashon. Some Sefer says the following, and this you can look up in the Teres Moshe. In the beginning of Perach Vav in Devarim, he writes that Klal Yisrael and Galus, as long as they had a Tshuka to Eretz Yisrael, they were safe. And as soon as the Tshuka to Eretz Yisrael disappeared, they were in danger. Shneimar, he says, and it's actually next week's parasha, right? It says that Vayamas Yosef Chalecha v'Chol Adar Ahu v'Yokem El Chadash. He says, what happened? Yosef wanted to go back to the Eretz Yisrael. That's where he came from. Right? Yaakov Avinu, before he dies, he says, you're going to go back. But the next generation, they're already like in America. We're in the next generation. We're Americans. American. He says, as soon as you become an American, the trouble starts. The Chukas Eretz Yisrael, the Chibas Eretz Yisrael, so it has to be be'etzem. You have to know, it has to go into your bones to understand the generation that you and I live in. We miss it because we see the small and not the big. We don't see Klal Yisrael. It's indisputable that Klal Yisrael for hundreds of years was not centered in Eretz Yisrael. There's no question that when the Ramban went to Yerushalayim, there was no minyan there on Shabbos. They had to pay people to come in for Shabbos when the Ramban went. And the Chassam Sofer was talking, the same thing. There were a handful of people. And we say Talmidei Agra went up. How many Talmidei Agra went up, do you think? Dozens, not hundreds, not thousands. A few dozen Talmidei Agra that went and started. How many? You know that in 1900 there were about 20,000 Jews in Eretz Yisrael. 13,000 of them in Yerushalayim and 7,000 spread elsewhere. I'm talking 1900. I'm not, it's a while ago, but the Klal Yisrael is not a while ago. Do you see what's happening in your lifetime, in my lifetime? Do you see what's happening? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing Klal Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. What his plans are, I can't tell you. It was distant for me just now. I can't reveal. I have no idea. But one thing is sure. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing it into Eretz Yisrael. I remember after the 67 war, all the Arab countries threw out the Jews. They burnt the shuls. And all the Arab countries, they all came to Eretz Yisrael over the next 10 years. And then in 79, Iran had the second largest Jewish population in the hemisphere, and the Shah was overthrown, and the Jews all ran away. Many came to America, but many went to Eretz Yisrael. And then in the late 80s, when the Iron Curtain fell down, 1 million Jews came from Russia to Eretz Yisrael. 1 million Jews came over a couple of years. There's only Rabbi Shalom orchestrating this. Doesn't happen by itself. And Europe emptied out over the late 1990s and 2000. I was just wondering, when is our time coming? America has a lot of schusim, a lot of chesed, and azakas hatayr, azakas Eretz Yisrael. We have a lot of schusim. But you got to get the picture. When you go to Eretz Yisrael, it wasn't there. My grandfather was alive. It didn't exist. And we miss it. And I don't know, I try to tell it to people, but it has to go into your blood that the whole mitzias of Eretz Yisrael, going to the Kaisel, it's new for you. It's new for you. When I go to the Kaisel, I look at the stones, I'm so happy for the stones. I don't know, I happen to like the Kaisel. What should I say? I'm happy those stones stood there for centuries. No one was there. No one was there because a few used to come by. And now, Baruch Hashem, one of the side benefits of difficult times in Eretz Yisrael is that the Goyim aren't coming, the Japanese tourists, and they're not coming now. And a lot of the fatter Jews are not coming either. I don't mean fat physically, I mean, it's too dangerous for them to go. I can't understand. So my point is that at some point in your life, you really have to think about Klal Yisrael. We're busy every day with what we do. We're busy, and we sing it, we mean it, we really mean it. But at some point, a person has to stop and think about where he is. You're on a big ship with Klal Yisrael, incredibly, riding through the Dairis.
10 p.m.
No nation in the world has come back to their country and reestablished. It's never happened. It never happened that a nation came back, that the society came back, culture came back. The American Indian is not taking over this country in the near future. Although the liberals may give it to them, but they're just not. It's not happening. And the Aztecs and the Incas are gone, and the old Romans are all gone. They're not coming back. And it all happened in our lifetime. It's enough for a person to feel the Avas Hashem, the tremendous Avas Hashem. You go to Eretz Yisrael, and you come to Eretz Yisrael, and there are Yidden there, and there are yeshivas there, and there are meisters there, and even the secular Jews. When I see enough from Yidden Eretz Yisrael, I realize if he'd be in America, he wouldn't know he's Jewish. He certainly wouldn't know Aleph Beis. He certainly wouldn't know there's such a thing as Shavuos. Passover he would know because they advertise, but Shavuos he wouldn't know such a thing. He wouldn't know anything. I think the Rabbi Shalom wanted, when Mashiach comes, we're going to have to teach all the Freie Yidden. So an American Yidden, we're going to have to teach them Aleph Beis. So Rabbi Shalom made that millions of Freie Yidden, they know Aleph Beis already. We can get started with them much quicker when they want a similar. But it's a picture. It's a picture. When in Mashiach comes, I have no clue. I have no doubt that the Rebbe Shalom is bringing Yidden to Eretz Yisrael. In my lifetime, Yidden are coming to Eretz Yisrael. So this is a hergish to live with. It's a hergish for a person to live his life with. The idea of a chavivos, of a chiba, of the fortune of being in Eretz Yisrael. Chazal say you walk Dalet Amis in Eretz Yisrael. Someone who was never there, it means a lot. Someone who's been there and gone here, there, and the other places. A person goes to Eretz Yisrael, he has to chap arayin, whatever he could, and it has to be Avodas Hashem. It has to be Avodas Hashem. You don't go to Eretz Yisrael for the Shvama stores. You don't go to Eretz Yisrael for Chas V'Shalom for the other things. It's a Gemara. The Gemara is in Pesachim Daf Ches. Why aren't the Peiros Genaiser in Yerushalayim? The beautiful fruits of Northern Eretz Yisrael. Why Yerushalayim? Shalayim Adam. A person shouldn't say, I came to Yerushalayim because they have good fruit. That's what's in the Gemara. Why aren't the Chami Tveri in Yerushalayim? A person shouldn't say, I went to Yerushalayim, the Chamim are so good. I mean, that's why you go to Yerushalayim? Yerushalayim, the Bati Midrashim are so good, the Kodesh HaKadoshim are so good. Now you're in trouble. I can go on about this all day. Shabbos is coming. But it's not that when I don't have anything to say, I fall back on my standard speech. It's just, it has to be in your bones. You have to understand the time you're in, the place you're in, the hashkafa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing this to you in front of your eyes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving you opportunities. It's the way it was told to me. I once went for a Shabbos bar mitzvah. I was Bein Hazmanim. I left Thursday, and I took the Motzei Shabbos flight back. So I was there. I landed Friday at 1:00 in the summer, and I was leaving Motzei Shabbos, and it was up north. So I arranged a driver, pick me up at the airport, drive me to the Kaisel. So I spent some time at the Kaisel, and then drive me up north. The flight was delayed for 3 hours. It was a 1:30 Thursday flight. It was late. At 4:30, I was coming Shabbos, Shabbos. Either I can go to the Kaisel, and I won't be able to learn the whole day, or I cannot go to the Kaisel, not go to the Kaisel. So Rav Goldvich was there. Tremendous Oyev Yisroel. He never goes 30 days without being in Eretz Yisrael. He must have frequent flyer miles, I don't know. He's a tremendous Oyev Yisroel, and I became friendly with him. So granted, I dozed off. He woke me up from Arab. I told him I have a shaila. I'm 3 hours late. Do I cut out going to the Kaisel, or do I cut out the learning? He's about the Talmud of Shama Zalman. So he said, let's daven. We'll talk about it afterwards. After davening, he told me, and it rings in my ears, he told me, just like tefillah in Eretz Yisrael is different, Limanat Torah in Eretz Yisrael is different. You want to go to the Kaisel because tefillah in Eretz Yisrael is different. Talmud Torah is also different. If Talmud Torah is connected to one, so it's also. Learning Eretz Yisrael is different. You have to have that heritage. You go to Eretz Yisrael and you waste your time. You waste your time running around, seeing things. So, these are my irrigation, and a strong irrigation that we have to appreciate. We appreciate, so we accomplish something. When Boishlam brings us there, we accomplish something. And it could be that the tease to the Shvatim, it was a tease. Imagine, Yaakov Avinu says to Shiftei Kar, I'm going to tell you when Mashiach is coming. I'm sure they wanted to know, and then it pulled back. The tshuka for it that it creates, it's tremendous tshuka. Someone dangles something in front of you and pulls it away, and it creates a tshuka. So we have to tap into it. If you go to Eretz Yisrael with Hashkafa, you go to Eretz Yisrael the right way. If somebody goes to Eretz Yisrael with Hashkafa, that's Avodas Hashem, then he doesn't have a yitzhar to look at movies on the plane. I can't believe it. People bid and pay us looking at movies. I don't know. Which movies? The best movies. Have Ritzicha, Gilei Arayos. I don't have a Avodah Zarah. I haven't seen one lately. But the way to Eretz Yisrael, it's a stira. Even if he watches it every night. But on the way to Eretz Yisrael, okay, Ad Khan. I would like to wish everyone a good Shabbos. And I myself have a chasna in Eretz Yisrael on Sunday. But I'll be back Be'ez Hashem Monday morning. But I'll be late because I have to give a hakel share in shul. So I'm landing, hopefully davening in shul, giving the hakel share, and then I'll come here. But I'm going for a chasna. So a boy in my shul, grew up in my shul. A much more modern family. I mean, the father, I think, is a public school graduate. Am I right, Yerachim? Public school graduate. And his son was marrying in Eretz Yisrael. He wants to stay in Yisrael the rest of his life. He said he's not coming back. So he asked me to be B'Sati Kedushin. I told him, listen, your chuppah is 7. I'm landing at 5. I'm not going straight to you. I'm going straight to the Kaisel for Maharav. I'll arrive whenever I arrive, depending on the flight. So you find yourself somebody, a backup, or at least a Mesader, and I'll get there when I get there. I'm going to not go to the Kaisel. Can't be. I'd have to be back at the airport. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave me a gift. They notified me my flight was pushed an hour back. So I'm landing at 4. So I'm not coming to the Chasna an hour earlier. I hope to stop at Hamenuchas, but Kever as well, Belina, everything. But there's Hashem. It's an opportunity. It's a truth. It's a chay. It's a dream. My Zayda died and I was killed in 42 in Europe. Would you imagine his grandson get on a plane, go to yisroel for 7 hours to be at a chasna, daven at the kaisel, go to Rabbi's kever, the chidas kever, I like to go to him. There would be possible, forget about it, would you dream it would be possible? Never. Appreciate what we have. And the chiba, the chavivos of the gift is something that we should accept. Now, good Shabbos to everyone.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.